Good morning, afternoon, or evening, guys. I wanted to create another video for you about adding integers just to make sure as you're working through things on your own, if you have some questions or you want to think back to the lesson as we were walking through some things together, you can kind of listen through this and hopefully get a little bit of guidance on how to complete your problems. So for problem number one, we have negative 96 plus negative 26. And I just created these questions. They aren't in the guided notes anywhere. They're just problems I thought might be good for us to take a look at as additional practice because practice is the way we really learn how to do math and utilize those skills. So in number one, like I said, when we have negative 96 plus negative 26, remember those parentheses around the negative 26 don't really mean anything. They just separate your addition sign from your negative so they don't blend together. But the first thing I do in my thought process is I say to myself, are the signs the same or are they different? And when I look here, I see that the signs are the same. When the signs are the same, I know that I'm going to find the sum of the numbers. I'm going to add them together. You're going to notice that I'm going to drop off all of my signs when I do my work off to the side. I always like to write down my work because it's very tricky sometimes to do math mentally. We can make mistakes that way, including myself. I find it easiest to write down my work. So I've got 96 plus 26. 6 plus 6, of course, gets us 12. Leave the 2, carry the 1. 9 plus 2 is 11, plus 1 more is 12. So we get 122. But I'm not done yet because I need to figure out if my answer is positive or negative. And if you recall, we said that if we add any two negative numbers, we get a negative. This makes sense because think about if you owe money. You owe money to one person, you owe money to another person. Those are negative integers. Those are negative values. You're going to be in the hole. You're going to owe more money, and it's going to be a negative value. It's not going to be a positive value. You don't make money when you owe others money. Again, we use that example of a football team that maybe loses 3 yards on one play and then two on another. They're going to end up with a loss of 5 yards, -5, not a positive value. So anytime you add two negatives, you get a negative solution. All right, let's take a look at number two. 48 plus -37. In this problem, the signs are different. Positive 48, -37. So if the signs are different, we find the difference. Remember, different, difference, they both start with D. That means we're going to subtract these. So we always put the bigger number on top. So we have 48 minus 37. Notice again, no signs on my work. I do put the subtraction though. 8 minus 7 is 1, 4 minus 3 is 1, and I get 11. The last thing we need to do is think about whether our answer is positive or negative, and we look at each number's absolute value. 48 has a bigger absolute value than -37. 48 is positive, that means my answer is going to be positive. We can also think back to that number line. Keep in mind, we're going to go to the right 48 for positive 38, and from there, we're going to go to the left 37. We're still in positive territory, so our answer is going to be positive. All right, let's take a look at number three. -77 plus 25. Again, the signs are different here, so that means we're going to find the difference. We're going to subtract these values. So we're going to take 77 minus 25. Again, always put that bigger number on top. 7 minus 5 is 2. 7 minus 2 is 5. We get a solution of 52. But in this problem, the absolute value of -77, which is 77, is bigger than the absolute value of 25. And since 77 is negative, my answer is going to be negative. We can also think again back to that number line. If we go to the left 77, but then go to the right 25, we're still going to be in negative territory. We're not going to get past 0. All right, let's take a look at two more. I wanted to throw some triple digit numbers our way as well. So number four, -107 plus -281. For this problem, the signs are the same, which means I'm going to find the sum. So I'm going to add 281 and 107 together. 1 plus 7 is 8, 8 plus 0 is 8, and 2 plus 1 is 3. I end up with a solution of 388, but again, if we add two negatives, we're going to get a negative. Again, think of that number line. We're going to go to the left 107 and keep going to the left 281 more units. Thank goodness we don't have to make a number line for this, right? We end up at -388. We're still in negative territory. All right, finally, 185 plus -261. In this problem, again, the signs are different. Positive 185, negative 261 means I need to find the difference. Please don't forget to put the bigger number on top though. We've got to borrow for this one, which is always tricky for students. So here's the deal. I can't take 5 from 1, so I borrow 1 from the 6. I made it a 5 originally without this 1 here, so the 1 became an 11. 11 minus 5 is 6. But now I can't take 8 from 5, so I borrow 1 from the 2, make it a 1. The 5 then becomes a 15. 15 minus 8 is 7. 1 minus 1, of course, is 0. I get a solution of 76. But again, I need to notice that the absolute value of negative 261 is bigger than the absolute value of 185, and therefore my answer has to be negative. Again, you can always envision that number line if it helps, but we shouldn't need to create it. I hope this video helps to clear up some things and also remind you of some of the things that we discussed during class together this week and even probably in previous weeks as well. But I really want to make sure you have an understanding of adding integers before we move on to subtracting integers. Thanks for listening, guys, and have a great day.